Hi, everyone. I'm Lydia. I am the owner of L Marketing and Events, and I'm actually traveling today for a video shoot. So I'm doing this live stream from the airport. But I really wanted to talk to you today about events as a marketing tool. I think a lot of people don't realize that I didn't necessarily start out going into marketing. I started out producing events for Barnes and Noble. So I did all kinds of big Harry Potter release parties, the Twilight release parties, big book signings. I actually met my husband at a book signing for Jimmy Carter. And so that is really my background, was event planning for my previous companies. So for Whole Foods Market, and for Barnes and Noble. And I got to see event planning as a really phenomenal marketing tool for business owners. And so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about event planning, what you need to think about when you're doing event planning for marketing as an actual marketing tactic, and some tips and tricks for doing it. What I studied in school was actually broadcast journalism and theater. And event planning is very much like directing a play. You're envisioning what you want the experience to be. You're helping people start to finish on what it is that you want them to experience, from the time they get their invitation to the time they walk in the door to the flow. It's almost like directing people around a stage. And so for me, marketing and event planning and theater they have a lot of really great parallels that I love. I always talk about how marketing is storytelling. An event is just another way to tell your story. So one of the things that you want to think about when you are planning an event is actually your timeline. So it's really important that you pick that event date and use that date as your starting point, and then work your way backwards. As you work your way backwards from that event date, you can figure out things like, when do the invitations need to be sent out? What type of graphic design needs to be done? When do I have to get that to the printer? When do I have to put tickets on sale? When do I have early bird pricing? When do I have last minute pricing? When do I need to send out press releases? When do I need to invite my influencers? So all those different things help you craft an event experience. A lot of the events that we do are for product launches or restaurant grand openings or community-oriented events. And so one of the ones that we did was for Punch Bowl Social, when they were doing one of their grand opening events. And we had kind of a series of events over the course of 3 or 4 days. So we did a big, huge press day where we had all kinds of different media outlets and reporters touring the site. And then we had an influencer-only preview party that was really exclusive. It was only about 40 influencers. And that one was really, really fun. And then we had our full-on VIP exclusive opening event, where we had VIPs coming through and open and participating. And then we had our grand opening party, which was ticketed, and all the sales of those tickets actually were donated to a nonprofit partner. And so that was something that was really, really fun, where it was about 4 events over the course of 3 days, but it was a great way to launch. And so we worked our way backwards from those events and actually crafted over the course of 2.5 months everything that needed to happen as part of that. Another thing you want to consider when you're crafting an event is, what is your budget? You always are going to have to pay for things like advertising, printing. There will be ticket fees very often if it's a paid event. And so think about what your budget is. Is there going to be food? Do you need to budget for live music? Do you need to budget for staff? Which is one that people quite often think of or forget. And remember, staff includes setup and takedown and cleanup. Do you need to rent tables? Do you need to rent glassware? All these different things. You want to kind of craft that budget so you know what you're spending. And then also, what do you want to actually get out of your event that you're producing? So think about that as well. And a lot of times people don't. They're like, well, we should probably do an event. What do you want the result to be? What do you want the experience to be for the people that are there? And, you know, do you want them to come to your restaurant, experience the food for the first time, talk about it, and come back? Do you want them to participate in a pre-sale of a brand new product that you're launching? Do you want to build community awareness about a new initiative that you're doing or that's taking place? And so you need to have that in mind when you're actually crafting the experience that you want people to have. And you need to think of activities or things to do for people to actually get that result that you're looking for. Don't bother putting on an event if you don't have an actual end result or goal that you want to accomplish at the end of it. One of my restaurant clients regularly does pretty exclusive tequila dinners. And the point of that event, and they are exclusive, it's maybe 20 to 25 people at them. But the point is really reputational. So it's not, we're trying to sell a ton of tickets. This is a big money maker for us. It's more, this is our reputation as somebody that's knowledgeable in the food and craft tequila space. Let's talk about it from that perspective. So that's one thing to kind of consider as you're thinking through what you want that experience to be. The other thing that you want to do is consider how you can get people to move through the event space. I always separate food and beverage whenever possible. And if I'm serving alcohol, I will put drinks in the very back of the event space. It forces people to go all the way through the event space and experience the whole event to get a beverage. It's just a way to keep people flowing and keep traffic flowing through the space. For example, when I used to do the big Harry Potter events at Barnes & Noble, I had events scattered throughout the whole entire store so that people weren't clumping up. So at one of the release parties, I had I had like some psychics doing some psychic readings, and they were down in the cafe area. And I had an exotic pet store there with all kinds of creepy crawlies, and they were upstairs in the children's department. And I had wand making taking place over in the magazine area where I had extra space. And so I had things to kind of drive people throughout the entire store. And I gave them a map of the store telling them where the different classes were. So care of magical creatures and potions and wand lore and all the different areas so that they knew where to go for things as well. Another thing that you want to do is take it past the event. Have a way for people to connect with you on social media. Give them a little thank you on their way out the door. Give them a hashtag so that when they take photos, they know who to tag in those photos so that you can actually capture some of the things that people experience that night and with their permission, reuse it. So think of ways to take it past the event as well. And then finally, consider if you should, for a ticketed event, be giving away tickets to influencers, to media people, things like that you want to just invite so that they can actually be there and help out to spread the word. You can also have influencers or media help out before your event if you're selling tickets and things like that. They can help with ticket giveaways. They can help with community engagement, things like that before your event even happens. And then finally, think about your event metrics. How many people saw your event on social media? How many photos were taken at the event? What was the result? Did you ask people for feedback after the event? Did you invite them to your very next event? And what did that look like? So all those different things are ways to take it and have it live longer and beyond, and also gauge the value of your event and if you should be doing it again. So those are some things when it comes to event planning as marketing that you need to consider, beyond just say if you're planning a personal event or you're planning a party. For a marketing event, it's different because you're trying to craft that experience. You need to create your timelines, have a budget, design an experience for your guests, connect with them after the event, work with those influencers, and finally know your metrics so that you can decide if it's actually a valuable use of your time. Thank you so much for tuning in and for your patience as we're dealing with kind of a lot of traffic here at the airport, but it was delightful connecting with you today. Have a great day.